There's a story about a parish. It once installed a new water fountain in the church hall. Above it, someone placed a sign that said, "Free water." But one child added another sign underneath that said, "Free, but only temporary." And of course, the child was right. You drink water today, and tomorrow you are thirsty again. So that another story would corroborate that one. So there's a story about a man wandering through the desert, carrying a few bottles of water. Eventually, they ran out, and he became desperately thirsty. Then he found an old hand pump. But when he pulled the handle, nothing came out. Next to the pump was a small bottle water and a note. The note said, "Pour this water into the pump to prime it, and fresh water will gush out. Drink all you want and refill your bottle, but don't forget to refill the small bottle for the next traveler." Then a warning: you will be tempted to drink this bottle because you are thirsty. But if you do, the pump will never work for you or for anyone else. As we continue our Lenten journey, the church leads us into the experience of the desert, a time when we recognize our deepest thirst. In the first reading, the Israelites are wandering in the desert, and they are thirsty. They complain and question whether God is still with them. Yet God tells Moses to strike the rock, and water flows out to save them. In the Gospel, Jesus sits at Jacob's well and speaks with the Samaritan woman. At first, she thinks he is talking about ordinary water. But Jesus is speaking about something deeper. He says, "Whoever drinks the water I give will never thirst again." The Israelites were thirsty. The Samaritan woman was thirsty. And in many ways, our world is thirsty. People thirst for meaning in life. People thirst for love and acceptance. People thirst for peace, forgiveness, and hope. The Samaritan woman represents many of us. Her life is complicated and broken. Yet Jesus crosses every barrier to speak with her. Jews and Samaritans normally avoided each other, but Jesus begins the conversation. He does not reject her. Instead, he offers her living water. And this teaches us something very important. Not only do we thirst for God, God also thirsts for us. Jesus thirsts for her faith. Jesus thirsts for her heart. Jesus thirsts for her salvation. And that encounter changes her life. She leaves her water jar behind and runs to tell others about Jesus. The woman who was once rejected becomes a messenger of faith. During Lent, we should ask ourselves, what are we really thirsting for? Sometimes we try to satisfy our hearts with success, with possessions, recognition, or pleasure. But those things never fully satisfy us. Only God can quench the deepest thirst of the human heart. Jesus offers us that living water, His grace, His love, and His presence. We first receive that living water in baptism, and we continue to receive it whenever we come to Christ in the Eucharist, like what we are celebrating now. The Eucharist is our well, where Christ nourishes and sends us out to bring that living water to others. As we continue our Lenten journey, may we come again and again to that well where Christ waits for us, ready to quench the deepest thirst of our hearts.